Hello, dear listeners. I'm your storyteller, and I'm here to guide you into a peaceful and relaxing journey tonight. If you're using this story to wind down and drift off to sleep, I'm so glad you've joined me. But before we begin, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to the channel so you never miss a moment of calm. I'd also love to know, where are you from and what time is it where you are? Now take a deep breath, get comfortable, and let the soothing story help you relax and unwind. The night sky was a blanket of shimmering stars, and as she lay in bed, Maya couldn't take her eyes off the window. It was as if the stars were calling to her, whispering secrets only she could hear. Maya was no stranger to adventure, but tonight felt different, magical even. She closed her eyes and took a deep breath, feeling a light breeze tickle her face. When she opened them again, she was no longer in her room. Maya found herself standing on a smooth silver platform, floating in the middle of space. Around her, planets and moons spun slowly, and distant galaxies glowed like fireflies in the dark expanse. She wasn't frightened. Instead, she felt a deep sense of calm. This was the beginning of a new journey, and she knew that wherever this adventure led her, she was ready. As she looked around, a small, friendly spacecraft hovered into view. It was unlike any ship she had seen before, with a sleek design and a soft glow that made it seem almost alive. The door opened slowly, and a warm light spilled out, inviting her inside. Without hesitation, Maya stepped into the craft. The interior was cozy and welcoming, with plush seating and a control panel filled with colorful, blinking lights. In the captain's seat sat a cheerful, round robot named Cosmo. He turned to greet her, his digital eyes lighting up with joy. "Welcome, Maya," Cosmo chirped. "I've been waiting for you. Are you ready for an adventure through the stars?" Maya smiled, feeling a rush of excitement. "Where are we going?" "Everywhere," Cosmo exclaimed, spinning around in his seat. "There are worlds to explore, mysteries to uncover, and stardust to chase. But first, we need to chart our course. I thought we'd start with a visit to the Moon of Whispers." "The Moon of Whispers?" Maya asked, intrigued. "What's special about it?" "Oh, it's a place like no other," Cosmo said, his voice lowering as if sharing a secret. "It's a moon where you can hear the thoughts of the stars themselves. It's a gentle place, perfect for easing into our journey. Would you like to go?" Maya nodded, feeling a thrill of anticipation. She sank into a seat beside Cosmo, and the ship's soft hum filled the air as they lifted off, leaving the silver platform behind. The stars outside blurred into lines of light as they accelerated, moving faster than Maya thought possible. Yet despite the speed, she felt completely at ease. Cosmo turned on a screen in front of them, showing a map of the galaxy. "It's not far," he said reassuringly. "Just sit back and enjoy the view." Maya did just that. The vastness of space stretched out before them, filled with swirling colors and distant stars. It was a scene more beautiful than she had ever imagined. As they flew, she felt the tension of her day slipping away, replaced by a peaceful, dreamy sensation. The soft hum of the ship and the gentle rocking motion made her feel as if she were floating in a warm, comforting bath. "Do you see that?" Cosmo pointed to a glowing orb in the distance. "That's our destination." The Moon of Whispers was unlike any moon Maya had seen. It was covered in a thin silver mist that seemed to sparkle with tiny lights, like the stars had come down to rest on its surface. The ship descended slowly, and as they landed, Maya felt a slight tingle run through her body, as though the moon itself were greeting her. The door opened, and Maya stepped out onto the soft, shimmering ground. The air was cool and filled with a faint musical hum. It was soothing, like a lullaby sung by the stars. She closed her eyes and listened, feeling the sound wrap around her like a cozy blanket. "What do you hear?" Cosmo asked, his voice soft and curious. Maya tilted her head, listening more closely. At first, she heard only the gentle hum, but then, faintly, she began to hear whispers. They were quiet, like the sound of leaves rustling in the wind, whispers grew clearer, and she realized they were voices, soft, kind, and full of wisdom. "The stars are speaking," she said, her voice barely a whisper itself. Cosmo nodded. "They share their dreams with this moon. It's a place where they rest and reflect on their journeys across the universe." Maya took a deep breath, feeling the calm of the moon seep into her bones. The whispers felt like a gentle breeze on a warm summer night, brushing away her worries and filling her with a sense of wonder. She had never experienced anything like this, a place so quiet, yet filled with so much life. As they stood there, Cosmo began to hum a soft tune, matching the rhythm of the moon's song. Maya joined in, her voice blending with the whispers, creating a harmony that made her feel connected to everything around her. After a while, Cosmo turned to her. "We should move on soon. There's so much more to see, but I wanted you to experience this place first. It's a good reminder that sometimes the quiet moments are the most important ones." Maya nodded, feeling a deep sense of gratitude. She had needed this moment of stillness and connection. She looked back at the moon one last time, taking in the silver mist and the soft, glowing lights. Then, with a sigh of contentment, she followed Cosmo back to the ship. As they lifted off, Maya felt a new sense of anticipation building within her. This was only the beginning of their adventure, and she knew there were incredible things waiting for them in the vast expanse of space. "Where to next?" she asked, settling into her seat. Cosmo smiled, his digital eyes twinkling. "You'll see. Just close your eyes, relax, and let the journey take you where it may." Maya did just that, feeling the gentle hum of the ship beneath her. The stars outside seemed to dance, twinkling in a rhythm that matched her own heartbeat. She closed her eyes, letting herself drift into a peaceful, dreamy state as the ship carried them onward. And so the adventure through space had begun. As the gentle hum of the ship rocked her into a state of dreamy calm, Maya opened her eyes slowly, feeling the warmth of the stars outside. It was still hard to believe that she was here, gliding through the endless expanse of space with her cheerful companion, Cosmo. She glanced over to see him at the controls, his small, round figure illuminated by the colorful lights of the dashboard. "Good morning, Maya," Cosmo chirped, his digital eyes lighting up as he noticed her waking. "Did you sleep well? Space has a way of cradling you into the best dreams." "I did," Maya replied with a smile, stretching her arms. "Where are we headed now?" Cosmo spun around playfully, almost dancing in his seat. "I thought we'd visit a place I think you'll love. It's called the Star Garden, a place where stars are born and where you can feel the heartbeat of the universe." Maya's eyes widened with wonder. "A garden of stars?" "Yes, exactly," Cosmo grinned, pressing a button that brought up a holographic map of the galaxy. "It's a quiet corner of the universe where stars are carefully nurtured. Some say the garden was planted by the very first stardust, and it's been growing ever since. The space gardeners tend to the stars, helping them glow brighter. It's a magical place, full of light and life." The ship accelerated, and Maya watched in awe as they soared past swirling nebulae and distant planets, the colors blending into a cosmic blur. She felt the excitement building in her chest. This was the adventure she had always dreamed of, but it was more beautiful and serene than she had ever imagined. Soon, the ship slowed, and a soft, golden glow filled the windows. Maya gasped as she looked outside. They had arrived at the Star Garden. It was breathtaking. The garden wasn't like a garden on Earth. Instead of flowers and trees, it was filled with tiny, glowing stars, each one shimmering with its own light. The stars floated gently, like dandelion seeds drifting on the wind. Some were small and faint, just beginning to flicker to life, while others burned brightly, their light casting a warm glow over the entire area. Cosmo guided the ship to a gentle stop, and the door slid open. Maya stepped out onto a soft, floating platform made of shimmering stardust. The air was cool and filled with a sweet, faint scent, like fresh rain mixed with the smell of night-blooming jasmine. Maya turned to Cosmo, who hovered beside her, clearly pleased with her reaction. "Isn't it beautiful?" he asked. "It's more than beautiful," Maya whispered, her voice full of wonder. "It's magical." They walked together through the star garden, the tiny stars floating around them like glowing fireflies. As they moved, Maya noticed small, wispy figures darting in and out among the stars. They were the gardeners, delicate, ethereal beings made of light, tending to each tiny star with great care. One of the gardeners approached them, her form shimmering with a soft, silver glow. She bowed her head in greeting, her movements graceful and gentle. "Welcome, travelers," the gardener said in a melodic voice. "My name is Leora. I'm one of the caretakers here. You've come at a special time. The new stars are just beginning to bloom." Maya felt a swell of excitement. "What does that mean?" Leora smiled, her entire form radiating warmth. "Every star starts as a tiny spark of light. We help nurture them, giving them the energy they need to grow and shine. Would you like to help us with the new stars today?" Maya nodded eagerly. "I'd love that." Leora led them to a small area of the garden where tiny glowing orbs floated in the air, their light barely visible. Each orb pulsed faintly like a heartbeat, and Maya felt a deep connection to the tiny sparks. They felt alive, like little pieces of the universe's own soul. "These are the baby stars," Leora explained softly. "They need gentle care and a bit of warmth to help them shine." Maya held out her hand, and one of the tiny orbs floated over to her. It rested in her palm, its light pulsing in time with her own heartbeat. She closed her eyes and focused on the warmth in her heart, imagining herself sharing that warmth with the little star. To her amazement, the star began to glow brighter, its light spreading out like tiny rays of sunshine. Maya opened her eyes and laughed in delight. "It's working!" Leora nodded approvingly. "You have a kind heart, Maya. The stars can feel it. They respond to love and care just like we do." For the next little while, Maya and Cosmo helped the gardeners tend to the baby stars. Maya felt a deep sense of peace as she held each tiny light, sharing her warmth and watching the stars grow stronger. It was a quiet, meditative process, but it filled her with a joy she couldn't quite put into words. After a time, Leora returned, her form shimmering brighter now. "You've done well," she said. "The stars are grateful. They will remember your kindness as they grow and take their place in the night sky." Maya felt a lump in her throat, overcome by the beauty and simplicity of it all. "Thank you for letting me help," she said softly. Leora bowed her head again. "Thank you for your gentle heart. May the stars guide you on your journey, wherever it may lead." Cosmo took Maya's hand, guiding her back to the ship. As they lifted off, Maya watched the star garden fade into the distance, its soft glow lingering like a memory. "Where to next?" Maya asked, her voice filled with a peaceful happiness. Cosmo smiled, his eyes sparkling. "There are so many places to explore, but I thought we might visit a special planet next, one where the flowers sing in harmony with the wind." Maya's heart fluttered with excitement. She leaned back in her seat, closing her eyes as the ship sailed smoothly through the stars. "Take me there," she said softly, feeling the gentle pull of sleep already beginning to take her. The ship hummed, carrying them onward into the vast starry night. The ship glided smoothly through the starlit expanse, and Maya found herself leaning back into the plush seat, letting the gentle hum of the engine lull her into a dreamy state. Cosmo, her ever-cheerful companion, was at the controls, humming a little tune that seemed to blend with the sounds of space around them. "We're almost there, Maya," Cosmo announced with a twinkle in his digital eyes. I hope you're ready for something truly special. Our next stop is the Singing Flower Planet. Maya sat up, her curiosity piqued. Singing flowers? I've never heard of such a thing. Oh, you're in for a treat, Cosmo grinned. It's a place like no other. The entire planet is covered in fields of flowers, each one with its own unique voice. When the wind blows, the flowers sing together in perfect harmony, creating music unlike anything you've ever heard. Maya felt a shiver of excitement run through her. I can't wait. The ship began its descent, and Maya looked out the window. Below them, a vibrant, colorful world unfolded, a tapestry of rolling hills blanketed with endless fields of flowers. The colors were vivid and mesmerizing, like a living painting. There were fields of deep blue, bright yellow and soft pink, stretching as far as the eye could see. The ship touched down gently on a grassy knoll, and Cosmo opened the door with a flourish. "After you, my friend," he said with a bow. Maya stepped out, her feet sinking into the soft, mossy ground. The air was fresh and fragrant, filled with the sweet scent of blooming flowers. As she took a deep breath, she noticed something extraordinary. The air was filled with a delicate, ethereal melody. Maya closed her eyes and listened. The sound was unlike any music she had heard before. It was light and airy, like the sound of a flute carried by the wind. But as she listened more closely, she realized it wasn't just one sound, it was many. Each flower seemed to have its own unique voice, and together they created a symphony that drifted across the fields. "It's beautiful," Maya whispered, turning to Cosmo. Cosmo's digital eyes were half closed, as if he too was lost in the melody. "Isn't it? This planet is a living song, always changing, always in harmony. The flowers sing their joy, their sadness, their dreams. It's a reminder that the universe has its own music, even when we can't always hear it." Maya felt a sense of calm wash over her. She walked slowly through the field, running her fingers gently over the petals of the nearest flowers. They seemed to vibrate under her touch, releasing a soft, soothing note. As they wandered deeper into the field, they came across a small, clear stream winding its way through the flowers. Maya knelt by the water, dipping her fingers into the cool, crystal-clear liquid. The stream, too, seemed to sing, a soft, tinkling sound like tiny bells chiming in the breeze. Cosmo joined her, sitting down on the mossy bank. "This place is perfect for letting go of worries," he said softly. "The flowers, the wind, the water, they all work together, reminding us that we're part of something bigger. It's a song we're all a part of, even when we don't realize it." Maya nodded, feeling the truth of his words. She took a deep breath and let it out slowly, feeling the last traces of tension leave her body. The music of the flowers wrapped around her like a comforting blanket, and she felt more at peace than she had in a long time. They sat there for a while, just listening. Maya felt as if time had slowed down, and she was content to simply be, to let the sounds of the planet wash over her and fill her with a sense of quiet joy. After some time, a gentle breeze picked up, rustling through the fields. The song of the flowers changed, becoming livelier, as if they were welcoming the wind like an old friend. The melody rose and fell, swelling into a chorus that made Maya's heart swell with happiness. Cosmo stood up, holding out a hand to Maya. "Come, there's something I want to show you before we leave." Curious, Maya took his hand, and they made their way up a small hill. When they reached the top, Maya gasped at the view. The entire valley spread out below them, a sea of color moving and shifting in the wind. The flowers swayed together, their voices blending into a single, powerful song that filled the air. It's like the planet itself is singing, Maya said, her voice filled with awe. Cosmo nodded. In a way it is. This is its gift to the universe, a song of life, of connection, of being part of something greater. Every flower, every breeze, every drop of water contributes to the melody. And right now, so do we. Maya felt a lump in her throat, overcome by the beauty of it all. She took a deep breath, letting the music fill her up, feeling it in her bones, her heart, her very soul. As the sun began to set, casting a golden glow over the valley, the song of the flowers softened, becoming a gentle lullaby. Maya and Cosmo stood there, side by side, watching the sky turn shades of pink and purple. "It's time to go," Cosmo said quietly. "There's so much more to see, but I wanted you to experience this place, to hear its song." Maya nodded, feeling a deep sense of gratitude. "Thank you, Cosmo. This was, beyond words." They made their way back to the ship, the song of the flowers following them like a soft, lingering goodbye. As they lifted off, Maya looked back at the colorful fields, the flowers still swaying and singing in the breeze. "Where are we going next?" Maya asked, settling into her seat. Cosmo's eyes sparkled with excitement. "Next, we'll visit the Cloud City, a place where the skies are filled with floating palaces made of mist and dreams." Maya leaned back, a smile on her face. She closed her eyes, letting the soft hum of the ship and the memory of the flower song carry her into a peaceful, dreamy state. The ship soared onward into the starry night. As their adventure through space continued, the ship sailed through the endless, star-speckled sky, leaving behind the soft melodies of the singing flower planet. Maya leaned against the window, her eyes gazing at the shimmering stars as they passed by in a gentle blur. The quiet hum of the ship made her feel calm and safe, as if it were cradling her like a soft blanket. Cosmo's voice broke the silence, full of excitement. "We're almost there, Maya. Get ready to experience something truly extraordinary. Our next stop is the Cloud City." Maya looked up, intrigued. "Cloud City? Is it really made of clouds?" Cosmo gave a playful wink. "Oh, it's much more than that. Imagine a city that floats high above the ground, where the buildings are sculpted from mist and dreams. It's a place where the sky itself forms the architecture, and the people who live there have mastered the art of crafting clouds. It's unlike any city you've seen before." Maya's heart fluttered with anticipation. As they flew deeper into a region of the galaxy filled with fluffy white clouds, she could see shapes beginning to form in the distance. It looked like a cluster of tall, wispy towers made of the softest mist, glinting in the sunlight like spun silver. The ship began its descent, and Maya held her breath as they flew through a layer of thick, white clouds. When they emerged on the other side, she gasped at the sight before her. The Cloud City was breathtaking. Tall spires and floating bridges made entirely of translucent mist seemed to defy gravity, suspended in mid-air. The entire city shimmered with a pearly glow, as if it were woven from moonlight. Soft tendrils of cloud drifted lazily around the structures, giving the whole place a dreamy, ethereal quality. Cosmo guided the ship to a gentle landing on a platform made of condensed mist. The surface felt cool and springy under Maya's feet as she stepped out, taking in the crisp, fresh air. It smelled of rain and new beginnings. "Welcome to Nimbus City, the heart of the Cloud City," Cosmo announced with a flourish. "It's a place where the sky is a canvas and the clouds are the paint." Maya felt like she was walking in a dream as they strolled through the city. The streets were made of swirling fog, soft beneath her steps, and the buildings rose up around her, their forms constantly shifting, and changing shape like a living sculpture. The air was filled with a gentle, musical hum, the sound of wind playing through the delicate structures of the city. As they wandered deeper into the city, they came across a group of cloudcrafters at work. They were tall, graceful beings with flowing robes that seemed to be made of the same mist as the clouds around them. Their hands moved with delicate precision, shaping the clouds into intricate patterns and forms. One of the cloudcrafters noticed Maya and Cosmo and floated over to greet them. Her face was soft and kind, her eyes sparkling like the morning dew. "Welcome, travelers," she said in a voice that was light as a breeze. "I am Zephyr. You've arrived just in time for the Cloud Festival. Would you like to join us?" Maya's eyes lit up. "A festival? What is it celebrating?" Zephyr smiled, her robe flowing like a wisp of smoke. "It's our way of giving thanks to the sky and the winds that shape our world. Today, we create the most beautiful cloud sculptures and release them into the sky, letting the wind carry them wherever it wishes." Maya felt a thrill of excitement. "That sounds wonderful. Can we help?" "Of course," Zephyr said with a nod. "Follow me." They made their way to a large, open square in the center of the city. Dozens of cloudcrafters were gathered there, their hands weaving and molding the mist into delicate, floating sculptures. There were cloud swans that looked like they could soar away at any moment, misty castles with towers that reached toward the heavens, and intricate spirals that twisted and turned like a dance in the sky. Zephyr handed Maya a small, wispy bundle of cloud. "Here, take this. Feel the texture of it. It's soft, isn't it? Now close your eyes and imagine what you want it to become. Let your heart guide your hands." Maya took the cloud bundle, marveling at its weightlessness. She closed her eyes and thought about the singing flower planet they had just visited. Slowly, she began to mold the cloud, her fingers moving with a gentle rhythm. When she opened her eyes, she saw a tiny cloud sculpture of a flower, its petals delicate and translucent, glowing softly in the sunlight. "It's beautiful," Cosmo said, his voice filled with awe. Zephyr smiled warmly. "You've done well, Maya. You've captured the essence of a memory and turned it into something new. Now release it and let the wind carry it away." Maya held up her creation, watching as the light breeze lifted it from her hands. The tiny flower drifted upward, joining the other cloud sculptures as they floated away, carried by the wind. Maya felt a sense of lightness, as if she too were being carried away by the breeze. The sky above them was filled with floating shapes now, the sculptures swirling together in a beautiful dance. The Cloud Festival was in full swing, and the city seemed to come alive with music and laughter. Maya and Cosmo danced together, spinning and twirling through the misty streets, their laughter mingling with the sound of the wind. As the sun began to set, casting a golden glow over the city, the cloud sculptures started to fade, dissolving back into the mist from which they were born. The festival wound down, and Zephyr approached them one last time. "Thank you for sharing this day with us," she said softly. "The wind will carry your memory far and wide, spreading joy wherever it goes." Maya felt a deep sense of gratitude. "This place, it's like a dream. I'll never forget it." Cosmo squeezed her hand gently. "We have many more wonders to see, but I'm glad we stopped here." The Cloud City is a reminder that even the simplest things like the wind and the clouds can create the most beautiful art. They made their way back to the ship, the last rays of sunlight painting the sky in shades of pink and purple. As they took off, Maya looked back at the Cloud City, now just a soft blur on the horizon. "Where are we headed next?" she asked. feeling a familiar sense of anticipation. Cosmo's eyes sparkled with excitement. Next, we'll visit the Moonlight Lagoon, a place where the water glows like liquid silver under the stars. Maya leaned back, a smile on her face, as the ship sailed smoothly into the night. The ship glided silently through the darkness of space, and Maya watched as the stars twinkled like diamonds against the black velvet sky. Beside her, Cosmo was humming a cheerful tune, his digital eyes alight with excitement. "Are you ready, Maya?" Cosmo asked, his voice bubbling with anticipation. Maya turned to him, smiling. "Where are we going this time, Cosmo?" He leaned closer, lowering his voice as if sharing a secret. "We're headed to the Moonlight Lagoon, a hidden paradise where the water glows like liquid silver. It's a place of quiet magic, where the night sky and the lagoon become one. You've never seen anything like it." Maya's heart fluttered with curiosity. The thought of a glowing lagoon felt like something out of a dream. "It sounds beautiful. I can't wait to see it." As the ship approached the planet, Maya saw it was shrouded in darkness, illuminated only by the soft, shimmering glow of the Moonlight Lagoon. It was like a vast, glowing pool nestled in the heart of the night. The water sparkled with a silver light, casting gentle ripples of luminescence across the surface. Cosmo set the ship down on a small, sandy shore. Maya stepped out, feeling the cool, soft sand beneath her bare feet. The air was crisp and carried a faint scent of salt and moonflowers, making her feel refreshed and invigorated. "Look at the water, Maya," Cosmo said softly, pointing toward the lagoon. Maya took a step closer, her breath catching in her throat. The lagoon was more incredible than she had imagined. The surface of the water shimmered and glowed with a silvery light, as if the moon itself had melted and poured into the lagoon. It was mesmerizing, like a mirror reflecting the night sky. Cosmo knelt by the water's edge and dipped his fingers into the glowing liquid. Tiny sparks of silver light danced around his hand, spreading ripples of light across the lagoon. "This is no ordinary water," he explained. "It's infused with moonlight, collected and concentrated by the unique stones at the bottom of the lagoon. They absorb the light of the moon during the day and release it at night, creating this magical glow." Maya crouched beside him and dipped her own fingers into the water. It felt cool and soothing, like a soft caress. Tiny sparks of light swirled around her hand, tickling her skin. "It's incredible," she whispered. "It feels like I'm touching stardust." Cosmo nodded. It's said that the lagoon has healing properties. The moonlight that infuses the water brings a sense of calm and tranquility, washing away any worries or fears. Maya closed her eyes, letting the cool water wash over her hand. She could feel the gentle pull of the lagoon's magic, like a soft lullaby that eased her mind and filled her with peace. They walked along the edge of the lagoon, the soft glow of the water casting a silver light on their faces. The landscape around them was serene and quiet, with tall, dark trees standing like silent guardians, their leaves rustling softly in the breeze. As they continued, Maya noticed something moving in the water. She stopped and peered closer, her eyes widening as a group of small, glowing fish swam by. They looked like tiny stars, darting through the water in graceful arcs. "Moonfish," Cosmo said, his voice filled with wonder. "They only live here, in the Moonlight Lagoon. They feed on the light that the stones release, and in return, they help spread the moon's glow throughout the water." Maya watched in awe as the moonfish darted and danced, leaving trails of sparkling light behind them. It was as if the lagoon itself were alive, breathing and moving with the rhythm of the fish. They came across a small wooden dock that jutted out into the water. Maya sat down on the edge, her legs dangling above the glowing surface. Cosmo joined her, sitting close by. They looked out across the lagoon, watching the moonlight ripple and shimmer. "It's so peaceful here," Maya said softly. "I feel like all my worries have drifted away." Cosmo nodded. "That's the magic of this place. The Moonlight Lagoon is a sanctuary for travelers like us, a place where the light of the moon and the calm of the water can heal even the heaviest heart." They sat in silence for a while, just listening to the gentle lapping of the water against the shore. Maya felt a sense of stillness she hadn't felt in a long time, as if the lagoon had washed away all the noise and chaos in her mind. After a while, Cosmo stood up and held out a hand to her. "Would you like to see something special?" Maya took his hand, letting him pull her to her feet. Together they walked to a small rowboat tied to the dock. It was painted a deep, midnight blue and seemed to glow faintly in the moonlight. "Hop in," Cosmo said with a grin. They climbed into the boat, and Cosmo began to row, the oars cutting through the water with barely a sound. As they drifted farther from the shore, the light of the lagoon grew brighter, casting a silver glow that surrounded them like a halo. Maya looked up and gasped. The sky above was a perfect reflection of the lagoon below, stars twinkling like tiny diamonds. It was as if they were floating between two worlds, the sky and the water mirroring each other in perfect harmony. "It's like we're sailing through the stars," Maya whispered. Cosmo smiled, his face bathed in the soft silver light. That's the magic of the Moonlight Lagoon. It's a reminder that we're all connected, the sky, the water, the stars, and us. We're all part of the same beautiful, endless universe. Maya felt tears prick at the corners of her eyes, not from sadness, but from the overwhelming beauty of the moment. She leaned back, letting herself relax completely, her body swaying gently with the rhythm of the boat. As they floated in silence, Maya felt a deep sense of gratitude. Gratitude for the journey, for the wonders she had seen, and for her companion, who had made it all possible. The boat drifted back to the shore, guided by the gentle current. Maya stepped out, feeling lighter than she had in ages, as if the lagoon had washed away not just her worries, but her very sense of time. "Where to next?" Maya asked, her voice filled with quiet joy. Cosmo's eyes sparkled with excitement. "Next, we travel to the Star Mirror Desert, a place where the sand reflects the night sky, making it look like you're walking among the stars." Maya smiled, feeling the familiar flutter of excitement. She took one last look at the Moonlight Lagoon, now a shimmering silver pool under the night sky, before stepping back into the ship. The engine purred to life, and they soared upward, leaving the glowing lagoon behind as they headed off to their next adventure. The ship sailed smoothly through the darkness of space, leaving behind the tranquil glow of the Moonlight Lagoon. Maya leaned back in her seat, feeling a calm contentment she hadn't felt in a long time. Cosmo was at the controls, humming softly, his digital face lit with excitement. Maya glanced at him, smiling. "What's next on our adventure, Cosmo?" Cosmo's eyes sparkled with a playful gleam. "Prepare yourself, Maya. Our next stop is the Star Mirror Desert, a place where the sand is as reflective as polished glass. At night, it mirrors the sky perfectly, making it feel like you're walking among the stars." Maya's curiosity piqued. "A desert that mirrors the stars? That sounds magical." "It is," Cosmo replied with a grin. "There's no other place like it in the universe. You'll see." As they approached the new planet, Maya looked out the window and gasped. Below them, stretching as far as the eye could see, was a vast expanse of shimmering silver sand. It looked like an ocean of stardust, sparkling in the faint light of the distant sun. Cosmo guided the ship down to a soft landing. The moment the doors opened, a warm breeze drifted inside, carrying with it a faint, sweet scent, like jasmine on a summer night. Maya stepped out and felt the warm, smooth sand beneath her feet. It felt soft and welcoming, like stepping onto a sun-warmed blanket. The desert stretched endlessly in every direction, the sand glittering with a soft, silvery light. The sky above was a deep, twilight blue, scattered with stars that seemed to pulse gently, like tiny heartbeats. Maya took a deep breath, feeling the magic of the place wrap around her. "It's beautiful," she whispered. "I've never seen anything like it." Cosmo nodded, his voice soft with awe. "This desert has a special kind of sand made from ancient glass-like minerals. During the day, it's warm and shimmers like gold, but at night, it transforms, reflecting the stars above like a perfect mirror. As the sun dipped below the horizon, the transformation began. The light faded, and the sky darkened, revealing a blanket of stars that seemed to stretch on forever. The sand beneath their feet slowly began to glow, reflecting the sky above. It was as if the stars had spilled out of the heavens and onto the desert floor. Maya looked down and felt a shiver run through her. The sand was so reflective that it looked like she was standing on the surface of a giant, starlit lake. Every step she took sent tiny ripples of light dancing across the surface. Cosmo took her hand. "Come on, Maya, let's walk through the stars." They strolled through the desert, their reflections following them like shadows made of starlight. The night was quiet, with only the soft whisper of the wind and the occasional call of a distant night bird echoing through the air. It felt like they were the only two people in the entire universe. Maya couldn't stop staring at the sand beneath her feet. Each grain seemed to hold a tiny piece of the night sky, sparkling and twinkling as if it were alive. She felt like a child again, filled with wonder at the beauty of the world around her. Cosmo pointed to a distant hill, its silhouette dark against the starry backdrop. "There's a special place up there," he said. "It's called the Sky Altar. It's where travelers come to make a wish under the stars." Maya's eyes widened. "A place for wishes? Let's go." They made their way up the gentle slope of the hill. As they climbed, the sand beneath their feet seemed to glow even brighter, lighting their path like a trail of fallen stars. When they reached the top, Maya saw smooth, flat stone surrounded by small, sparkling crystals. Cosmo gestured for her to step forward. "This is the Sky Altar. Legend says that if you stand here and look up at the stars, your heart's truest wish will be heard by the universe." Maya stood on the stone, feeling a sudden stillness settle over her. She closed her eyes and tilted her face up to the sky, letting the cool night breeze brush against her skin. She thought about everything she had seen on their journey. The singing flower planet, the cloud city, the moonlight lagoon. Each place had filled her heart with joy and wonder, but there was still something missing, something she couldn't quite name. She took a deep breath and whispered her wish to the stars, her voice carried away on the wind. It wasn't a wish for something specific. It was a wish for clarity, for understanding her place in the vast, beautiful universe. When she opened her eyes, the sky seemed even brighter, as if the stars were winking at her, sharing a secret only they knew. Cosmo stepped up beside her, his gaze fixed on the sky. "Did you make your wish?" he asked softly. Maya nodded, a small smile playing on her lips. "Yes, I did. It felt important." Cosmo squeezed her hand gently. The Star Mirror Desert has a way of revealing what's hidden in our hearts. Sometimes just speaking your wish out loud is enough to make it come true. They stood there together, side by side, looking out over the desert. The sand below shimmered and sparkled, a sea of stars stretching out to the horizon. Maya felt a deep sense of peace, as if she were exactly where she was meant to be. As the night wore on, the wind picked up, sending tiny whirlwinds of sparkling sand dancing across the desert. Maya laughed, twirling with the wind, her feet kicking up little clouds of stardust. Cosmo watched her, his face lit with joy. "You look like you belong here, Maya, like you're part of the stars themselves." Maya's laughter filled the air, bright and carefree. "Maybe I am," she called back, spinning around with her arms wide open. "Maybe we all are." The wind began to die down, and they made their way back to the ship, their footprints glowing briefly before fading into the sand. Maya took one last look at the Star Mirror Desert, feeling a sense of gratitude for the quiet magic of the place. As they stepped inside the ship, Maya turned to Cosmo. "Where to next?" Cosmo's eyes twinkled with excitement. "We're headed to the Echoing Caves, a place where every sound is captured and turned into a symphony of echoes." Maya's smile grew, her heart fluttering with anticipation. "I can't wait." With a soft hum, the ship lifted off, leaving behind the starlit desert as they soared into the endless night. Maya and Cosmo flew onward through the velvety expanse of space, leaving the shimmering sands of the Star Mirror Desert behind. The stars around them were bright and close, like old friends accompanying them on their journey. Maya felt light and free, as if each new discovery was lifting her spirit higher. "Where are we going next, Cosmo?" she asked, looking at her companion with eager eyes. Cosmo's digital face lit up with a warm smile. "The Echoing Caves," he said softly. "They're nestled within a mountain range on a planet where the wind sings through the stones. The caves capture every sound, transforming them into an eternal, musical echo. It's a place of pure harmony, unlike anything you've experienced before." Maya felt a tingle of anticipation run down her spine. "A symphony of echoes? That sounds amazing." Cosmo nodded. "It's said that the caves can even echo the sound of your own heart, creating a song that only you can hear." As the ship approached the planet, Maya could see the outline of rugged, dark mountains against a sky painted in shades of purple and pink. The peaks glowed with a soft, ethereal light, as if they were infused with the essence of music itself. They landed at the foot of a large mountain, its towering face marked by a wide entrance that seemed to breathe in and out with the rhythm of the wind. Maya stepped out of the ship and felt a breeze sweep past her, carrying with it the faint sound of singing, soft, distant notes that seemed to be calling her closer. She turned to Cosmo, her eyes wide with wonder. "Do you hear that?" Cosmo smiled. "The music of the wind. It's the welcoming song of the Echoing Caves." Together, they made their way toward the entrance, the sound growing louder with each step. The air was cool and fragrant, filled with the earthy scent of moss and rain. Maya felt as if she were walking into the heart of the mountain itself. The cave's mouth opened before them like a giant stone maw. Inside, the walls glowed with a faint silvery light, and the sound of the wind became a symphony, harmonizing with the soft drip of water and the distant rustle of unseen creatures. Maya paused, closing her eyes to listen. The echoes filled the space around her, like 1,000 voices singing together in perfect harmony. It wasn't just the sound of the wind anymore. It was as if the cave were playing a song just for her. "It's beautiful," she whispered, her voice barely more than a breath. The cave answered back, echoing her words in a soft, melodic hum. "Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful." The sound rippled through the space, transforming her simple word into a song that wrapped around her like a comforting embrace. Cosmo took her hand and led her deeper into the cave. "There's a place deeper inside where the echoes are even stronger," he said. They say it's the heart of the mountain. As they walked, Maya noticed the walls were lined with tiny sparkling crystals that seemed to pulse with the rhythm of the music. Each step they took sent new notes ringing out, as if they were stepping on a giant musical instrument. They came to a large open chamber, its ceiling high and domed, like the inside of a cathedral. The air was filled with a gentle, humming sound, like the purring of a contented cat. In the center of the chamber was a shallow pool of water, its surface perfectly still, reflecting the glowing crystals above like a mirror of stars. Maya knelt beside the pool, her reflection shimmering in the water. She dipped her fingers into the cool liquid, and the touch sent ripples across the surface, creating a cascade of soft, tinkling notes that echoed around the chamber. "Try speaking," Cosmo encouraged. "Say anything." Maya hesitated, then whispered, "Hello." Her voice echoed back to her, but it didn't sound the same. It was softer, sweeter, layered with harmonies that she hadn't created. It was as if the cave had taken her voice and woven it into a song. "Hello, hello, hello." The echoes sang back, carrying a sense of warmth and welcome. Maya laughed, the sound bright and clear. The cave caught her laughter and tossed it back, filling the chamber with a chorus of joyful notes. "This place is incredible," she said, her eyes sparkling. "It feels like the mountain itself is alive." Cosmo nodded. "In a way it is. The echoing caves are a living instrument, playing the music of the world around it. Every sound is a part of the symphony." They sat together by the pool, listening as the last notes of Maya's song slowly faded away, replaced by the soft hum of the wind. The cave felt alive around them, breathing and singing, a gentle, ever-changing symphony that would continue long after they were gone. Maya leaned her head on Cosmo's shoulder, feeling a deep sense of peace. "Thank you for bringing me here," she said softly. Cosmo wrapped his arm around her. "Thank you for sharing your song. The cave will remember it, and so will I." As they made their way back to the ship, Maya glanced back at the entrance of the cave, now just a dark shadow against the mountainside. The wind carried a final, gentle echo to her ears, as if the cave was saying goodbye. Maya smiled and whispered, "Goodbye." The cave's echo followed them as they lifted off, the sound of the wind and the music fading into the distance as they flew away toward their next destination. "Where to now?" Maya asked, her heart still full of the cave's song. Cosmo grinned. "Next, we're headed to the Floating Gardens, a place where flowers bloom in mid-air and the air smells like sweet summer rain." Maya felt a flutter of excitement. "I can't wait to see it." The ship soared onward, leaving the echoing music of the caves behind as they journeyed deeper into the wonders of the universe. The journey through space continued, the stars outside their ship a blur of light, as Maya and Cosmo made their way to their next destination. After the symphony of echoes in the caves, Maya felt as though the universe was full of music, and she couldn't wait to hear the next chapter in this cosmic symphony. "Cosmo," Maya asked, her voice tinged with excitement, "what exactly are the Floating Gardens? I'm curious about them." Cosmo's digital face brightened, and he leaned forward slightly as he spoke. "The Floating Gardens are a marvel of nature and engineering. The plants here don't grow on the ground like we're used to. They grow suspended in mid-air, thriving in the open sky. The gardens are scattered across floating islands, each one home to a different kind of plant, flower and tree. And the air is so fragrant that it feels like walking through a dream." Maya's eyes widened. "Flowers in the air? How does that even work?" Cosmo grinned, pleased with her curiosity. "It's a mystery to many, but the secret lies in the planet's unique gravity and the symbiotic relationship between the plants and the floating islands. The roots of the plants extend into the air itself, drawing energy and nutrients from the sky. And the islands, they're like gigantic, living organisms that float because of the planet's magnetic field. That's incredible, Maya whispered. I've never heard of anything like it. The ship sailed toward the planet, and Maya could see the floating islands in the distance. They appeared to float gently above the surface of the planet, surrounded by clouds and mist. Each island was lush and green, dotted with brilliant colors from flowers that seemed to float in midair, their petals glowing like delicate lanterns. As they approached, Cosmo began to descend, guiding the ship to a landing on one of the floating islands. The ground below was soft and spongy, covered in moss and small, delicate flowers that seemed to shimmer in the pale light of the distant sun. Maya stepped out of the ship, taking in the view. The island was small but filled with beauty. A gentle breeze swirled around them, carrying the sweet scent of blooming flowers. Birds with iridescent wings flew from one floating garden to another, singing soft, melodic tunes as they went. "Welcome to the floating gardens," Cosmo said, his voice filled with reverence. "Take a deep breath. The air here will refresh you like nothing else." Maya inhaled deeply, and her senses were immediately overwhelmed by the fragrant aromas of the flowers around her. Sweet, spicy, citrusy and floral, all mixing together in a way that made her feel both relaxed and invigorated. She closed her eyes for a moment, savoring the moment, letting the peace of the floating garden seep into her soul. "Do you hear that?" Maya asked, opening her eyes and turning to Cosmo. "It sounds like water?" Cosmo nodded. "It is. There's a stream that runs through the island, and it flows upward, carrying droplets that shimmer like stars. The plants here are designed to pull water from the air and feed on the energy of the floating islands, but they also draw energy from the streams." Maya followed Cosmo through the lush foliage, and sure enough, ahead of them was a stream that seemed to defy gravity. The water bubbled gently as it flowed upward toward a small waterfall, where it cascaded into the air before disappearing into the clouds above. It sparkled in the soft light, and Maya reached out her hand, letting one of the water droplets fall into her palm. It felt cool and refreshing, and she couldn't help but smile. "It's like magic," she said, her voice filled with awe. "It's nature's magic," Cosmo replied with a gentle chuckle. "Everything here exists in perfect harmony with the environment. It's a place where science and beauty meet." Maya continued to walk through the garden, captivated by the floating flowers and the vibrant colors that surrounded her. She was drawn to a cluster of blossoms that hung in mid-air, their petals glowing softly in shades of purple, blue and pink. She reached out to touch one, and as her fingers brushed against it, the flower seemed to bloom even more, the petals opening wider and releasing a delicate, sparkling dust into the air. "That's a starflower," Cosmo explained. "They only bloom when they sense a person's wonder. Their dust helps to enhance dreams, making them more vivid and colorful." Maya's eyes lit up. "That sounds perfect. What do you mean by enhancing dreams?" Cosmo smiled warmly. "Starflowers have the ability to connect with a person's deepest hopes and desires. When their dust touches you, it intensifies your dreams, making them feel more real, more magical. It's as if the flower is sharing its dreams with you too." Maya closed her eyes for a moment, letting the flower's dust settle on her skin. She felt a strange warmth spread through her, and for a brief second, it was as if she was floating among the stars herself. She could almost hear the soft whispers of the stars, like a lullaby just beyond reach. "Let's keep going," she said softly, almost in a trance. "I want to see more." They ventured further into the island, discovering more strange and beautiful plants. Some flowers floated on the air like delicate balloons, while others seemed to glow with their own internal light. There were trees with leaves that sparkled like silver coins, and vines that twisted and curled like living sculptures. Every step was a new wonder. Eventually, they reached the heart of the island, a peaceful clearing where the largest floating tree grew. Its trunk was thick and gnarled, and its branches reached high into the sky, hanging heavy with clusters of glowing fruits. Maya gazed at the tree, mesmerized by its beauty. "This tree," Cosmo said softly, "is the source of all the floating gardens. Its roots stretch deep into the core of the planet, and its branches reach up into the clouds, drawing energy from both the earth and the sky. It's been here for centuries, giving life to everything on this island." Maya reached out and gently touched the bark of the tree, feeling a warmth pulse through her fingertips. It felt alive in a way she had never experienced before. She closed her eyes again, imagining the roots stretching far beneath her, connecting her to the very heart of the planet. "I can feel its strength," Maya murmured. "It's like the tree is alive, sharing its power with us." Cosmo nodded. "It is. And as long as the tree remains healthy, the floating gardens will thrive." Maya took one last look at the magnificent tree, feeling an overwhelming sense of peace and wonder. The air around her was filled with the soft hum of nature, and she felt connected to everything around her, the plants, the sky, the very planet they stood on. With a deep sigh, she turned back to Cosmo. "What's next, Cosmo? What other wonders does the universe hold?" Cosmo's digital face gleamed with excitement. "Next, we'll be heading to the Celestial Pools, an underwater world where the water shimmers with the colors of the galaxy. But for now, let's savor this moment." As they made their way back to the ship, Maya couldn't help but feel a sense of gratitude. The floating gardens had been more than just a beautiful place. They had been a reminder that magic existed in the smallest details of life, in the flowers that floated in the air, and the trees that reached for the stars. As the ship soared through the starlit expanse of the universe, Maya felt a serene calm after the breathtaking beauty of the floating gardens. She sat by the window, watching the stars blur into streaks of light as they traveled. The hum of the engine was soothing, almost like a lullaby, and she glanced over at Cosmo, who was setting a new course. "Where are we going now?" Maya asked, her curiosity piqued. Cosmo turned to her, his digital eyes sparkling with excitement. "We're headed to the Celestial Pools, Maya. It's an underwater world like no other, a place where the water shimmers with the colors of the galaxies. It's said that the pools reflect the dreams of those who gaze into them." Maya's heart skipped a beat. Dreams? How do they do that? Cosmo gave a knowing smile. The waters of the Celestial Pools are infused with stardust and ancient cosmic energy. They respond to the thoughts and emotions of those who visit, creating patterns and colors that reflect what's deep inside your heart. Maya leaned back, her eyes wide with wonder. "That sounds like pure magic." "It is," Cosmo agreed, "and it's one of the most peaceful places in the universe. You'll see." The ship soon arrived at a planet covered in shimmering, translucent waters. Maya could see the entire ocean glowing with a soft, otherworldly light, as if a million tiny stars were trapped beneath the surface. The light danced and shifted, creating swirling patterns that looked like galaxies in motion. Cosmo guided the ship down toward the water's edge. They landed gently, and the ship's door opened to reveal a path that led directly to the water. Maya stepped out, feeling a cool breeze brush against her skin. The air smelled faintly of salt and flowers, a crisp and refreshing scent that made her feel alive and energized. "Ready for a swim?" Cosmo asked, his voice filled with a playful tone. Maya grinned. "You bet." They walked to the edge of the water, and Maya dipped her toes in. The water was warm, like a soothing bath, and it shimmered with a million colors as she stepped in further. It was as if she was stepping into a pool made of liquid light. "Look," Cosmo whispered. Maya glanced down and gasped. The water around her feet was glowing in vibrant shades of blue and purple, swirling like a nebula. She could see tiny specks of stardust floating through the water, sparkling with each movement she made. "It's responding to you," Cosmo explained softly. "The celestial pools can sense your presence, your feelings. They're showing you a glimpse of your own dreams." Maya took a deep breath and waded deeper into the pool. The water came up to her waist, and she looked down to see a brilliant, shifting tapestry of colors below her. It was like looking into a living painting, a dance of lights and shapes that seemed to pulse with her heartbeat. She closed her eyes for a moment, letting herself float on her back. The water cradled her gently, and she felt as if she were drifting through the stars themselves. It was a feeling of pure peace, of being completely connected to the universe. When she opened her eyes again, she saw Cosmo floating beside her, his digital form shimmering in the water's light. "This place is incredible," she said softly. "I feel like I'm floating in a dream." Cosmo nodded. "In a way, you are. The celestial pools tap into your subconscious, showing you glimpses of your deepest wishes and dreams. It's a place of reflection, where the boundaries between reality and imagination blur." Maya turned onto her stomach and looked down into the water. The colors below her shifted and changed, forming shapes that looked like fragments of her memories. She saw images of her family, her friends, moments of joy and laughter, and dreams she hadn't thought about in years. Tears welled up in her eyes, not from sadness, but from the overwhelming beauty of it all. "It's showing me everything I've ever loved," she whispered. "How is that possible?" "The pools remember," Cosmo said quietly. "They hold the memories of the universe itself. Every star, every comet, every planet that's ever existed has left a trace here, and the water reflects that. It's like the universe's own memory." Maya reached down and gently touched the surface of the water. It rippled out in concentric circles, and the colors changed, becoming a deep, calming blue. She felt a wave of comfort wash over her, as if the water were embracing her, telling her that everything was going to be okay. "Cosmo," she said, her voice trembling with emotion, "this is the most beautiful place I've ever been. I don't want to leave." Cosmo floated closer, his expression tender. "I know, Maya. It's a place where you can truly be at peace, where you can feel connected to everything. But our journey isn't over yet. There's still one more destination waiting for us." Maya nodded, wiping away a tear. "You're right. But I'll never forget this." She took one last look at the celestial pools, committing the image to memory. The vibrant colors, the shimmering stardust, the feeling of absolute serenity. She knew that this moment would stay with her forever, like a cherished dream she could return to whenever she needed comfort. As they made their way back to the ship, Maya glanced back at the water one last time. It seemed to pulse gently, as if waving goodbye. She smiled and whispered, "Goodbye and thank you." Back on the ship, Cosmo guided them back into the starry skies. Maya settled into her seat, feeling a deep sense of contentment. "What's our final stop?" she asked, turning to her friend. Cosmo's eyes twinkled. "The Starlight Haven," he he said softly. A place where the stars themselves come down to meet you, where you can ask the universe anything you wish. Maya felt a thrill run through her. The Starlight Haven. I've heard stories about it, but I never thought it was real. Oh, it's real, Cosmo replied, and it's the perfect place to end our adventure. Maya looked out the window at the stars, feeling a sense of anticipation. She had seen so many wonders, experienced so much magic, but she knew the best was yet to come. "Let's go, Cosmo," she said, her voice filled with excitement. "Take me to the stars." The ship soared onward, leaving the celestial pools behind, heading toward the final chapter of their journey through the vast, beautiful universe. The ship glided silently through the vast darkness of space, the stars twinkling like distant beacons of light. Maya leaned back in her seat, her heart filled with anticipation. The journey through the floating gardens, the celestial pools, and all the wonders she had seen had led her to this moment, the final destination, the Starlight Haven. Cosmo's digital face appeared brighter than ever, a reflection of the energy and excitement that filled the cabin. "We're almost there, Maya," he said softly. "The Starlight Haven is just beyond this nebula." Maya peered out of the window, her eyes wide with wonder as the ship approached a shimmering cloud of stardust. It was as if they were entering a sea of light, where tiny sparks of energy danced and swirled like fireflies in the night. The nebula seemed alive, a living canvas painted with hues of purple, blue, and gold. As they passed through the glowing veil of the nebula, Maya gasped. Before them lay a sight unlike anything she had ever imagined, the Starlight Haven. It was a place where the stars seemed to gather, descending from the sky like falling snowflakes. The entire area was bathed in a soft, ethereal light that made everything look like it was wrapped in a gentle glow. "It's beautiful," Maya whispered. "I've never seen anything like this." Cosmo nodded, his voice filled with reverence. "The Starlight Haven is a sacred place. It's where the stars come to rest, to listen to the wishes and dreams of those who visit. Here, you can ask the universe any question, and it will answer in its own way." Maya felt a shiver run down her spine, a mix of awe and excitement. She had always felt a connection to the stars, but this was something deeper, something magical. "What do I do?" she asked, her voice hushed. "Just step outside," Cosmo said with a gentle smile, "and listen." Maya stepped out of the ship and into the soft light of the Starlight Haven. The ground beneath her feet was covered in a soft, glowing mist, and the air was filled with a faint, musical hum that seemed to resonate with her heartbeat. She looked up, and the stars seemed closer than ever, almost within reach. For a moment, Maya simply stood there, letting the peace of the place wash over her. She felt a deep sense of connection, as if the entire universe were wrapping her in a warm embrace. She took a deep breath, closed her eyes, and whispered a single question into the silence. "What is my place in the universe?" The moment the words left her lips, the stars above her began to pulse with a gentle, rhythmic light. It was as if they were speaking to her, their voices a soft, melodic whisper that she could almost understand. The light from the stars grew brighter, and the mist around her began to swirl, forming shapes and patterns in the air. Maya watched in awe as the mist coalesced into a vision, a starry landscape that seemed to mirror her own journey. She saw the floating gardens, the celestial pools, the echo caves, and all the other places she had visited. The vision showed her the friends she had met, the wonders she had seen, and the challenges she had faced. And then the vision changed. It showed her a star, small and distant at first, but growing brighter and brighter. Maya realized that the star was her. It was a representation of her own light, her own place in the cosmos. The mist parted, and the star floated down toward her, hovering just above her outstretched hand. It pulsed gently, as if it were alive, and Maya felt a warmth spread through her chest. "This is your place," the stars seemed to whisper. "You are a part of the universe, a shining light that connects to everything and everyone. Your journey, your dreams, your hopes, they are all part of the cosmic dance." Maya felt tears well up in her eyes. "I understand," she whispered. "I've always felt small, like just a tiny speck in the vast universe. But now I see I'm not alone, I'm part of something bigger." The star pulsed one last time before gently floating back up into the sky, joining the constellation of lights above. The vision faded and the mist settled back down, leaving Maya standing in the serene glow of the Starlight Haven. Cosmo approached her, his expression soft and kind. "Did you get your answer, Maya?" Maya nodded, wiping away a tear. "Yes, I did. I understand now. I'm part of the universe just like everyone else. My dreams and my journey, they matter." Cosmo smiled. "They do, Maya. Every star, every planet, every living being has its place in the grand design. And your light is just as important as any other." Maya took a deep breath, feeling a profound sense of peace. She looked up at the stars, feeling a connection she had never felt before. It was as if she could hear their voices, a soft, melodic hum that spoke of ancient wisdom and endless possibilities. As they made their way back to the ship, Maya turned to Cosmo with a smile. "Thank you for this journey, Cosmo. I've seen so much, learned so much. I'll never forget it." Cosmo's eyes sparkled. "It's been my pleasure, Maya. But remember, the adventure doesn't end here. The universe is vast and full of mysteries, and there will always be new wonders to discover." Maya settled into her seat, her heart full of gratitude. She looked out at the Starlight Haven one last time, the stars twinkling like a million tiny wishes waiting to be made. "Before we go," Cosmo said softly, "I have one last question for you, Maya." Maya turned to him, surprised. "What is it?" Cosmo's voice was gentle, almost like a whisper. "Now that you've seen the wonders of the universe, what dream will you follow next?" Maya looked out at the stars, a smile spreading across her face. She felt a sense of hope, a sense of endless possibility. "I don't know yet," she admitted. "But whatever it is, I'll follow it with all my heart." Cosmo nodded, his smile warm and bright. "That's all that matters." With one last look at the Starlight Haven, the ship soared back into the starry sky, leaving behind a trail of light. Maya felt a sense of joy and excitement, knowing that her journey was just beginning and that the universe was filled with endless dreams waiting to be discovered. And so, dear listener, I ask you the same question. Now that you've traveled through the stars with Maya and seen the wonders of the universe, what dream will you follow next?